And we are back for another edition of Inside Recruiting, and we're looking at, right now, one of the top prospects in the state of Michigan, back-to-back state champs, and one of the most heavily pursued prospects in the country. And it's kind of surreal because I feel like we watched this young man grow up. Here he is about to be a senior in high school and ultimately after that a college prospect, Jeremiah Beasley. Jeremiah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Glad that you could join us and kind of tell us where you are in recruiting. But before we get to recruiting, I want to reflect back on another outstanding season for you, another state championship run, and one that had more adversity to it because, you know, you're going in season, you're undefeated, and then all of a sudden your head coach is no longer able to coach you. So let's start there. Take me in that moment, and you're obviously one of the team leaders. How did you guys overcome that adversity?
We talked as a team, like, separately from the coaches. We said, whatever happens, we still got to handle business because the end of my goal was a state championship. So we ended up doing that for Coach Crowell. And, like, the transition, I'd say it was tough, like, the first couple of weeks, but he was working us towards it because he felt like it was coming, so he was just working us into it.
So for you personally, I mean, was there ever a moment of doubt or concern for you, or were you always confident that you guys were going to be able to weather the storm?
I was always confident my team was going to be able to weather the storm. We got ups and downs all the time during the season. The season before that, we had ups and downs. So I just feel like we got a strong team and we just played together.
The funny thing watching you play is, I've been telling people for a while, this is one of the top linebackers in the country, but you start running the ball.
Yeah.
And not just running it, but making a difference running the ball. And so it got me to questioning, is it definitely linebacker all the way for you, or are you one of those guys that aspires to maybe see some action running the ball too when you get to college?
I wouldn't say it's like linebacker all the way. It'd be like great if I could play both ways. That's something like rare that you see. You see people like Deion Sanders play like that. But I ended up taking a starting running back spot because our starting running back was hurt from like week 1 to week 6. So I just ended up getting in the groove and being probably one of the best running backs in the state.
There's no question about it. Very physical, but brings some speed to the equation too. So for people who haven't seen you play, let's get into the scouting report, but I want it from you. Like when you watch your tape, or if someone comes to watch you play, tell me what we'll see.
You're going to see a lot of big plays, First step explosion is what I'm really keyed on. So my first step is always trying to beat the person to a spot or something. So, and I play real physical, so physical, fast. I can juke a little bit. I juke when I got to. I don't juke all the time. I like to run people over and stiff arm. But yeah.
Is there a player? Let's talk about on defense, man. Give me the scouting report defense before we move on to talking about.
I feel like defense. I read gaps and I read linemen, so I feel like my IQ is with the best of them. And I feel like when I make a choice, I hit it hard and I'm real physical at the point.
And so, is there a player in college or the pros that you kind of model your game after, or that people kind of compare you to?
I model my game after Fred Warner because he one of the only linebackers that can really cover and come down the hill. There's a lot of one-dimensional linebackers. He can do everything. That's what I like about him.
Okay, all right. So definitely you've been challenged to do it all on the field from your linebacker position, and you've been challenged to do it at a high level from a young age. So let's go back to development. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're son of a coach, right? So you got that. Your brother's a ball player.
Yeah.
You working out with Max X, man. So, but what about that? Did you feel like when you got to college or to high school, even though it was Belleville, that you were ready based on how you had been prepared?
Yeah, I knew it was people that was in front of me that D1 football players, had a future in college football. But I felt like I was ready. I trained a lot. I worked hard. I talked to the coaches. I worked out with the team. So yeah, I felt like I was ready.
How hard were they? Because man, when you son of a coach, it's different.
Yeah.
Like they say when you the son of the coach is harder on you than everyone else. And then your big brother is a ball player too. So were they really, really hard on you? Like harder on you than they were the other teammates or other players, or did you feel like they treated you the same?
Coming in, expectations was high for me because, a lot of people talked about me as like one of the best players coming out of Little League. So, Coach Crowell had real high expectations for me. So I feel like it was good expectations though, you feel me? I like when I have high expectations, I can work towards them.
You get into recruiting. You're coming off another state championship, back-to-back state titles, and now you're one of the most heavily recruited players in the country. You've been to a lot of places. Before we get to talking about specific schools, do you have an idea now of what you're looking for in a school? Like, what do you want? When you pick the school that you're going to go to, what would be the criteria that school meets?
A good education for after football, and obviously I want to play early. So those are two big things in my recruitment.
Now, how much have you kind of studied the defenses that you're looking at? Like, have you watched a lot of film of the teams that you're looking at?
Well, I wouldn't say I watched a lot of film. I just watched their base defense. I asked the coach what's their base defense, and he'll show me and stuff. So that's what it's been about. I ain't really got like deep into watching defenses yet. All
right. So I know that you were on the verge of, what is today, the 1st? You were going to make a decision March 15th, right?
Yeah.
So, A, why were you going to make a decision March 15th? Why were you going to do it that soon? And then B, why did you put it off?
March 15th was my birthday, and I put it off because I wanted to actually get to know every coach that I was talking to see where I really wanted to go, to see what place really fitted me, take my official visits and stuff.
The schools. All right, so Michigan, Michigan State, Pitt, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Those were the 5, but then you said it was 2 more.
Yeah.
Penn State and Colorado. So let's start with the most recent ones, Penn State and Colorado. There's been a lot of Penn State buzz about you.
Yeah.
A lot of rumors out there suggesting that they were the leader.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Penn State, and was that buzz correct, that they were out front for you for a period of time?
Obviously they LBU, it was a great place, it was unique when I went down there. It's not like a lot of campuses that I've been to, And they for sure one of the front runners, I like their linebacker coach. I like the way that their defense plays. I like how they play their freshmen early.
Okay, so when you went to campus, you sounds like you really felt a good vibe there, felt like you fit in there.
Yeah. You
have any connections? You know any guys on the team that you really connect with?
Kobe and Kalen King, they went to Cass, and I know Jalen Reed, he went to King. So yeah, they ended up playing up against my brother. They played with my brother on sideline, somebody. So yeah.
Okay, all right. So then Colorado, Coach Prime obviously is making a lot of waves, and so A, what was it like to get offered by them? And then B, what do you think about Colorado at this point?
It's crazy. I was just getting out of school. The coach had called me, talked to me on FaceTime. He had offered me. It was really exciting. And getting offered by them, it was just like, it was crazy because, everybody want to get offered by them right now. It's Coach Prime. He bringing in all the good recruits, all the great coaches. So it was just a blessing.
Okay. All right, have you been out there yet?
No, I plan on taking an official visit out there, though.
Okay. All right. So Kentucky was your first offer, right? But it was Clink that offered you.
Yeah.
At Kentucky. So what has it been like since Clink left? What do you think of the Wildcats at this point?
They got a great defense. I like the way their defense plays. They're in a tough division. They always a front runner in that division. So that's what I like about them. And they offer me young, so they show how much they love me.
So who's really recruiting you for Kentucky right now?
Coach Merrill.
Okay. So what do you think of Vince?
He real cool. I talk to him on Twitter sometimes. Sometimes he'll just call my phone. He's a real cool dude.
Okay. All right. So Pitt, obviously you got ties here in the state. You got some coaches very familiar with the state. What about Pitt?
Their defense was top 10 last year and the year before that. So, I like the way their defense play. I sat down with Coach Archie Collins. He showed me their defense a little bit, and I felt like I could fit in that defense. So,
Archie goes back, man. How well do you know Archie? What do you think of Archie? And then, of course, Coach Narduzzi as well.
I talk to Archie almost every week, so I'm getting to really know him. He's a great guy. He's a real football mind. He knows a lot. And their linebacker coach, he's a real good guy. I talk to him a lot. He brings a lot of energy.
Tennessee. Now, that was the school I was hearing a lot about. I was hearing Tennessee was out front. You obviously have some connections there. Coach Banks, being from the D, mom went to Tennessee. So tell me about the Vols, man. What do you think about the Volunteers?
That's a special place. They've been heating up and recruiting. The 2023 class, I think they brought in like a top 25 class or so. So I really liked the campus down there when I went. Coach BJ, their linebacker coach, I really connected with him. And Coach Banks, he knew me since I was a little kid, so it's always great to talk to him.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the individual coaches there. Coach Brian Jean-Marie, you said you're getting to know him. What's the vibe like with BJ so far?
He's a real cool dude. He chill, but he got a lot of expectations. You feel me? He not finna just sit up there and let you do whatever you want. He's gonna be like a father figure to you, but he's not gonna not that aggressive.
All right, now Coach Banks. I mean, we just talked about Coach Collins. I mean, feel like your pops has known Coach Banks as long as he's known Archie too. So what about how far you go back with him, and what's the connection like with Coach Banks?
I've been talking to Coach Banks since almost my 9th grade year. You know, he always show love to me. He'll come down if Belleville has like a workout or something, like an open workout the college coach will come to. He usually the first like big school that's there, so you know he always show love to me.
Okay. Now I mentioned mom is a Vol too. Like Vol said, which one does she claim? Does she claim the Volunteers or does she claim the Buckeyes? Which one is it?
She claimed both.
She claimed both?
She'll probably claim Tennessee before Ohio State though, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, when you got the Tennessee offer and when you start liking Tennessee, could you sense that she was kind of feeling that, or is she kind of playing neutral for you?
You know, she was feeling it a little bit, but she been playing, you know, because it's my decision. She don't want to like push me to go somewhere that I don't want to go, or like push me into the decision. So. Okay.
All right, so mom and dad might not push you anywhere, but your big brothers kind of do that. Yeah. I mean, they can be pushy where the parents aren't pushy. And your big brother's at Michigan State. So first, before we get to talking about his influence, what about the Spartans? Obviously, Coach Tucker and company, Coach Wilcher and all of them up there have been recruiting you for a while. So what do you think about the Spartans?
Yeah, I feel like they bringing a new coach into Michigan State. You know, they bringing a lot of good recruits. Seem like they finna get a lot of good recruits in my class, D-line wise, so that's always good to have somebody up front that you came in with, that you could play with.
This would be a unique opportunity, though, where there could be some overlap with you and your brother. Y'all could spend 1 year together, right?
Yeah, possibly.
So how much of an enticement is that, the opportunity to maybe play a season with your big brother?
You know, it's always great to play a season with my big brother. You know, I've never played like a season in past with him. I might have played 7-on-7 one time, but you know, it'd be crazy for me to play a season with him.
So how hard is he? Is he recruiting you hard?
You know, he recruit me from time to time. You know, but he a good big brother, so he gonna tell me go where I feel best at. So.
So he's taking it easy on you.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
chilling, yeah.
That's different, man.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers don't do that. They kind of on your heads, but he's kind of letting it go. So what's your who's kind of recruiting you for Michigan State?
Coach Els. Yeah, Coach Els, one of my main recruits, and the linebacker coach from there too.
All right. So what do you think of them so far?
You know, it's a good school. You know, I'm one of their top linebackers on their chart, so I appreciate the love that they shown me.
All right. So now Michigan. We mentioned Coach Clink. Obviously, you've known him a long time. Your pops has known him a long time, and he was the first to offer.
Yeah.
What about Coach Clinkscale? What do you think of him?
Well, he like an uncle to me, you know. It's not, like, half of the time we don't even talk about football. It's more about how I'm doing, like, mentally, physically, and all that, and my family and all that. So, you feel me? He'll really check up on me.
Is it different with him? Because, I mean, it sounds like the personal relationship there with you is on another level. Mm-hmm. Do you have to put that to the side, or is that a part of the process, a part of the appeal?
I feel like that's part of the process. You know, everybody wants a personal relationship with the college coach that they finna be with for the next 3 to 4 years. So, yeah.
All right. So, but obviously there are other coaches that you gotta connect with at Michigan. So, new linebacker coach and Coach Partridge. I wonder what you think of him. And then Coach Harbaugh, man, what do you think of the head man there?
Coach Partridge ended up calling me the first day he got there, telling me I was one of his top recruits. He said it and told me it only makes sense that I came to Michigan. So, you know, he was a real cool dude. He showed me a lot of love. I think we talked on the phone for like 20 minutes, just asked about my family and all that, so I appreciate him.
All right, so what about Coach Harbaugh?
Coach Harbaugh, you know, he a good dude. I talk to him from time to time. I know I'm in a group chat with him right now, so he texts in there sometimes. He'll text me in the morning, like a little morning quote or something, so yeah, he always good.
All right, so you said mom's not pushy,
yeah,
which I get, but you said she identifies with Tennessee.
Yeah.
And Ohio State.
Yeah.
So if she identifies with Ohio State, how's she feeling about Michigan being on you as hard as they are?
You know, she said, like, basically if I go to Michigan, she wouldn't hate it, but you know, it wouldn't be her best fit. Like, she wouldn't like to wear that maize and blue. So yeah.
So she wouldn't wear it, but she gonna support her baby.
Yeah.
All right, man. So where does Michigan kind of fit with you at this point? Because there's been, you know, with them, there's been coaching turnover at the linebacker position, and obviously, you know, I was talking to your dad. He said you were kind of seeing the NFL, kind of pursuing Coach Harbaugh a little bit. So what do you think about that? Is that a factor for you? Have you Have your any concern you may have had, has it been eased by the fact that he turned the NFL down and now Partridge is in the building?
Yeah, I like how they brought Partridge back. You know, he was there when Devin Bush and them was there, so he's a great linebacker coach. And I feel like Clink there right now. Clink told me he not going nowhere for a while now. So yeah, that's to ease my questions and stuff.
All right. So what do you think about Michigan? I ask you what Moms thinks about Michigan. What do you think about Michigan?
I
right
like
now?
Michigan. It's a great atmosphere. You know, most winning program in the country. So I like how they bring in kids from Michigan too. You know, they got some Miles Morgan on there, Cole Cabana, Amir, who I played with for several years. So yeah.
Okay. So what about your pops? Who does he talk about?
What, Michigan-wise?
No, I'm just talking about of all the schools. Who does Pops talk about? If Moms talks about Tennessee, Ohio State's not in the mix. Brother talk about Michigan State. Who does Pops talk about?
My pop is real neutral. You know, I tell him from time to time that I like this school, and he'll just give me advice about it. So, you know, he's just real helpful.
I got you. All right. So now that you have, you know, been in the process a little bit, have you kind of seen what you don't like? I mean, are there aspects of the recruiting process or aspects of the schools that turn you off that like, hey, man, if you want to recruit me, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that? What have you seen that you don't like in recruiting?
I haven't really came across anything that I don't like in recruiting so far. You know, it's just been a great process for me.
Okay. All right. So you said you're going to line up some visits. Do you have any place that you or places that you know you're going to be going anytime soon?
I know I will be at Missouri this Saturday. So yeah.
That's not one of the schools on the list, man. Where's Missouri coming from?
I've been talking to Coach DJ Smith, so you know he's a real cool dude. He wanted me to get out there for a visit, so I'm gonna take a visit. Yeah, I'm gonna take a visit a couple places that's not on my top 7. So yeah.
All right, so a couple of guys that I know you know connected with Michigan. Jacob Oden. Been playing with Jacob for a while. He just committed. Mm-hmm. Has he been talking to you at all about Michigan? What about the impact of him committing? Does that have any impact on you at all?
Yeah, he be on me. Sometimes it be serious, you know, like one-on-one talk. Sometimes it be playing around, joking. So, you know, he's been my brother for a long time. So, you know, we just connect well.
Okay. Boo Carter is a dude. Now, I know Michigan is on him hard. I don't know about these other schools on your list. What schools do you and Boo have in common?
Michigan, Colorado. And I think that's it, yeah.
All right, man. So, I mean, do you guys ever talk about maybe potentially doing something, you know, continuing the teammate? I know you guys are Max X teammates, continuing that process or that prospect someplace else?
Yeah, we do it all the time, you know. Whenever we out on tournaments, we'll talk about a school that we like. He'll tell me how he like it, I'll tell him how I like it. So, you know, we just always connecting when we see each other.
Okay, all right. So, kind of game plan the rest of the process for me, right? You said that, what was the commit date? When are you going to do it again?
June 29th.
Is that locked in stone, or could you possibly do it sooner?
No, that's locked in stone.
That's locked in stone. Yeah. So you're going to take, you got 7 schools.
Yeah.
You only got, 5 officials. So what schools, have you figured out which ones you're going to take officials to?
I'm probably not going to take no officials to Michigan and Michigan State, because, you know, they in-state, I can get there a lot. So I'll probably end up taking the ones out of state, yeah.
Okay. Now, when is the next time you think you'll be up at Michigan?
Sometime early this month. You know, it's 30 minutes down the road, so I'll just pop up anytime.
All right. Now, any other guys on the team or in the class or any other guys that they're recruiting that you're connecting with?
Bryce West, you know, he's heavily recruited, like one of the top cornerbacks. I think he ranked like number 3 on 24/7 cornerback in the country. So, you know, that's my guy. I go to camps with him and stuff. I was hoping to play 7-on-7 with him, but Ohio don't let them play 7-on-7. So, yeah, that's my guy.
All right. So I got to ask you some tough questions, man. We kind of beat around the bush a little bit with the whole Penn State thing. Was Penn State ever your leader?
After our visit from Penn State, yeah, it was like almost number 1. Yeah, they was up there.
Okay. What about Tennessee? Was Tennessee ever your leader?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tennessee was your leader too. All right. Was Michigan State ever out front?
Yeah, early in the, real early in the process, Michigan State was like one of my top schools. So,
okay. Yeah. All right. So you don't have to tell me who, but at this point in your recruitment, is there a school sticking out, or is there an order to the schools, even if you won't tell me what it is?
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get an order to the school. I'm starting to feel like what school I want to go to and what school fits me best. So yeah.
All right, so you kind of laid out some criteria. You said education, connection with the coach. How big a deal is how they're doing on the football field right now? Does that factor in for you at all?
I feel like, a winning team is always good to go to when you're coming from a winning team. I just don't like losing, so yeah, record kind of matter to me. Yeah.
So if they're not faring well on the field right now, that's kind of a check against them a little bit.
Yeah, probably like a half a check. Like that.
I got you. All right. So last but not least, man, what's the deliberation process look like for you? So say it's the 28th or the 27th. You're getting close to it. Are you sitting down with the family and having like a round table discussion, or is it just you kind of sitting to yourself, kind of collecting your thoughts, coming up with this? How are you going to arrive at the choice?
Probably a little bit of both. I just sit down with myself whenever I got free time and really think about where I want to go for the next couple of years. And yeah, I talk to my family a lot of times about it.
Okay, all right. And so when you decided to put it off, was that a you thing, or was it advice from the family like, hey, Jeremiah, you could probably pump the brakes a little bit?
It was a little bit of advice. Then when I really sat down and thought about it, I felt like I should push it back too. So it was a little bit of both.
Okay, and let's look ahead to your senior season. Back-to-back. Bar said, hi, man, you just won back-to-back state titles, but the squad is basically back.
Yeah.
Right? So I know the bar doesn't lower, but you also have a different head coach now.
Yes, sir.
So take me into kind of play out your senior year for me and what it looks like.
We just want to keep building off what our success from last year. So, we have a saying that's called just keep winning, so one game at a time. And I just, since we did so many big things last year, I feel like the thing that we did bad was points given up. I feel like we could have gave up less points than we did on defense. So that's what we're working towards.
Gotcha. All right, Jeremiah Beasley, man, good luck the rest of the way. We'll be out watching.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for this edition of Inside Recruiting. Until next time, be sure to check us out over on the MichiganInsider.com and certainly on the podcast page as well. And on the YouTube page, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like the videos, and we'll see you next time.